It's been really difficult. It's been difficult on both of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between and all over the world, are you ready to twist and Mooncup? Are you ready to scream and yell? We've got a fantastic matchup here in the women's bronze medal clash at the tail end of the Elite Invite Leuven 2024. The Brazilians, as I've decided is their demonym, Mooncup, taking on that Italian powerhouse from Bologna. One Love, Real Shout, BFD Shout. Now, these two teams have met up previously. They met up in the pool stage. BFD Shout took that one, let's say convincingly. 15-11, and it was a gradual battle throughout that, just Shout taking break opportunities when they come, consistently pushing up their lead throughout it. There wasn't one huge run of points. I think the most points they scored in a row was 2, still beating 15-11. Shout, of course, the reigning European champions, so obviously a few people surprised to see them in the bronze medal game, going up against Mooncup. Mooncup, who finished 5th in Europe last year, have been enjoying relative success so far at this tournament. Beating Jet Set, beating East Block, beating Icenian, having a close game with Yaka, so really trying to stretch their legs and show their legitimate intention at the top end of Women's Ultimate, as we now see with the disc in hand. Mooncup, here they come, up against that BFD zone. an interesting conundrum for them to try and solve, but certainly one that they are relatively familiar with. You can see Julia Harris just got that dump off to Belper. Belper and Harris are going to be integral. That's Legala. Legala was the star for Mooncup when these two teams faced each other in the pool stage. She picked up, I believe, 4 goals and an assist for her efforts. Harris with the disc goes for the big blade over the top. That's exactly... Ooh, that was a little bit of contact. That's exactly what Shout wanted. Setting up that play. That was not exactly what they wanted. I think it might have been Kubica, but I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. Rollet pops it out. Harris feeds it all the way down the line, and that is chased for the score. I think that was Belper. We'll double check that in a second. So, Harris was baited into that... Oh, forgive me. That was Lisson Bourneau. So Harris was baited into that blade to try and get out of the cup. That's going to be a difficult throw. It's going to be even harder if you arc it towards the defense, which is what the outside in achieved in that area. Now, the throw afterwards was a bit rushed, as we can see here. Solom Rollet gets to Harris, and Harris just leads Bourneau. I think the return of the 2 Bourneau sisters to this Mooncup side is such a huge boon. You saw them join them last year, of course. The Bourneau sisters announced themselves on the world stage with absolutely stellar performances, taking home gold for France Mixed. And then for them to switch over to Mooncup, I mean, you got to imagine how many people are offering them. Shout would have loved to take them on, I assume. But they've gone to Mooncup. They've committed themselves now for 2 seasons in a row with a full season of this base of the squad. And there's a lot of talent on the Mooncup side. I mean, even just on this D-line as we look there. Kochklin just to the left of Roulet. Roulet's going to be doing a lot of double duty, normally leading the force on the D-line. And of course, that incredible young talent, Maïwen Leduc. So look out for them. Mooncup poaching a little bit in the lane, but for the most part, this is just a match defense. That's a fantastic flick break. You've got to be careful. Look at the huge gains, but they're snapping through and knocking it down. Excellent work. I don't think we have a number for that player, but that's good, too. Back into the centre. They swing it all the way around to the opposite sideline. Lazaris couldn't cause that one a rise, and then falls into the ground. Big shot straight away. They want one person down the opposite end. It was going to take something Herculean, but I mean, if Irene Scazieri's the one chasing down the disc, 9 times out of 10, she's going to get it. Rollet picks it up. That's Scazieri. Rollet matchup. Those are 2 real leaders for their respective teams. Very interesting. That was low and slow. Are they barbecuing out there? Are they playing frisbee? I mean, it's a beautiful sunny Sunday. You got to enjoy yourself. And thanks so much for joining us. No matter what time zone you're in, it's early, I assume. Unless, of course, you are a fan of Ava Muller and you're joining us from Australia, in which case, very much welcome. LTTV certainly have. We do a lot of work down under as well. You should look out for us at the Australian New Zealand Championships. You should look out for Roulet when she gets going. She wants that disc back immediately into power position, and there's the shot. Lots of bodies underneath it. And to be honest, I really thought that should have been caught. Ava Muller, the Australian, as we were talking about her family, though, great pressure, dissuading that shot. Lolly to the sideline. Oh, there's big bids coming through everywhere. Mooncup want this win. Remember, all of these wins count towards your scoring. Scazieri straight down the line, sets up an isolation shot to the end zone, and comfortably collected into the open arms of Gaia Strusha. Strusha was fantastic yesterday in their matchup. There's the little celebration tap as well from the teammates. Really well set up. So Strusha was actually the best, was the star player, the MVP, if you will, of Shout when they played in the last matchup. 3 goals and 1 assist. Also, I actually undersold Carmen Legala. She picked up 4 assists and 2 goals. So not 1 and 4, but in fact 4 and 2. So, as in there, it's all about that break to get things going. That was fantastic. Here, just great heads-up awareness and the run through D. I do not have that name listed, so hold on, let me just do a little bit of searching, so I want to make sure I give proper credit. Okay, we just don't have a 34 listed. So I'm very sorry, but excellent play on the D. And then, unfortunately getting beat on the other end by Strusha. You've got to take your opportunities against Shout. It's like going up against any of the championship teams, right? Like if you're going up against Deep Space, we saw Disconnection, not take all the opportunities they got. If you're going up against Clap, we saw Gentle take basically every chance they got. It was the same with Lafada being able to take the Tom's Tourney title off Mooncatchers. Just staying close throughout the game, not letting it get too far ahead, and then at the end, nice little run of breaks. Okay, another zone. That's a lot to deal with, especially early in the morning. But Mooncup have got a lot of very intelligent players. Schluter, certainly one of them. There's the pot to Legala. Legala goes to Blade on top. That's risky, but it works out. And now they're in behind the defense. So if they could get the continuation, Legala, BFD have 5 players around 3 Mooncup players. There's got to be an overload somewhere available, and there it is, swing all the way around. Relay acting as the linchpin. Harris makes a move to try and attract some defensive attention. Gets the easy pop. Has the relay. Goes back to her. She gets the big arcing swing all the way across. Borno. Where someone's as quick as Borno. There it is. There's the throw and go. She wants it back. That collapses in the cup. Opens up that swing all the way back to Relay, and she can just continue it to the opposite sideline. You kind of have to take that throw to the sideline on, otherwise you're going to keep losing yards. There it is. Harris coming back, displaying it perfectly. Excellent recovery, and now they're starting to move forward. That's the Haas. The Haas pops it back. Harris the Relay. Relay has Borno. But now you've got to continue to cut across. There it is. You have to take those throws on. That's where you gain the yards against the zone. Schluter down the line to Lefebvre. Lefebvre. Back in. That was a difficult throw. Borno wasn't expecting it. It was a fantastic throw. Somewhat unexpected. That's the hard work. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Or 1,000 throws as the case may be. And now you can see within about 6, BFD are shooting all the way back in the opposite direction. Bayaki outside the end zone, looking for options, has several in reserve, maybe too much. Legal did a good job shutting down, and there it is. That's going to be all over. My Shalani gets the quick pop to Pancotti, and BFD get a break. That was textbook zone. And then the quick fire. Something we know Shout love to do is that quick fire offense, the dishing, the dunking, the ducking, the diving, the dodging. Great patience by Bayaki, not getting rushed, not getting forced into anything as Mooncup try to pick up their assignments. A couple of people get left open for the easy shot in the end. So that's a big time break. And something we saw I might have called the first goal incorrectly for BFD, but that was their second goal. Matilde Mascalani to Gaia Pancotti for the second one, for the break. And there's the disc around to Rollet. Wants the deep shot to Legala, or just the leading pass down the sideline. Rollet and Regala have the great combination, looking for Harris, and very comfortable. Big swing all the way around. So BFD will press their advantage. There's an unfortunate turn on the under. Oh, and an overthrow going the other way by Mooncup. They're trying to work their way back into this and having some difficulty. It's a lot of pressure mounting. And then just being able to close those corners, make the throws very difficult to get into. And then what an incredible attempt at a grab, shall we say. There's the swing around. So Mooncup, really big force, put in a lot of hard work. That is a high arcing pass. It's not something I'd want to throw with guns in the area, but there's the big shot. And
In generale serve anche per fare idee, alla Leti prima la coppa mi ha toccato. Let's go, Moon!
Alors j'étais là, c'est ce que je me suis dit. Alors du coup, c'est du coup, donc j'étais là avant, j'étais là avant aussi. Je voyais les autres, ils me regardaient comme ça. Je me disais, ça va.
Brava Giovanna!
So BFD able to crack off a few points in a row and get the score. So Mooncup have got to respond to this pressure. We'll see how they can. Lagala gets it across to Hasp. Hasp forced to throw that a long way back to Relay. They're able to swing it around. Gets it back into the center. There's the quick pop back to Borneau. And they're moving it nice and quick. They've shown that they know how to throw around this zone. Let's roll to Schluter. They need to get the continuations in quickly. They're allowing this cup to cover too much ground too quickly. If you're going to go for those swings, swing all the way to the sideline. That's really nicely done. And there's the follow-up cut. Fantastic stuff. And the throw around, that is a difficult throw, but Legal is able to bring it in. Really nice run. Just sets up the huge deep shot all the way down the pitch. And not the easiest of catches either. You've got to give a lot of credit to chasing that down. As BFD respond with aplomb, an immediate goal back. And quite a well executed one at that to push the score out to 6-4. So Mooncup will need to come out here and get the block. So here come BFD. As we look through their results from earlier in this tournament, it was the 11-14 loss to Jinx Midnight that sent them down here. And for those of you who are curious, that was the team they beat in the EUCF final. As we have a look here at the current rankings, this is your likelihood of being invited to EUCF. The records are, it's not just a pure great record, it's about the rating difference, the ranking and skill level of your opponents. It's basically like Swiss draw, but for the entire European Championships to an extent. That throw going a little bit off, so you can see there the expected points tallies and how much of a difference it makes if you can exceed them. Roulet's trying to catch up, but at the end of the day, all she can do is watch Pancotti in the strong position and then celebrating. So a big time score for BFD to push it to 7-4. And they're decidedly in the driver's seat of this game. So you can see how quickly they strike back. There's the big shot. Pancotti, acres of space. Salom Roulet chasing it down, but without fouling, really, is not much you can do. Great body positioning by Pancotti. Just a lesson in taking the strongest line and not giving it up. As we are going to have ourselves a little bit of a timeout. Mooncup need to recover, need to readjust, hold some of these offenses, and then start looking for breaks. Can they do it? It remains to be seen. The score, Mooncup 4, Shout 7.
Yes, he will. The lovely day.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my! Somehow they do it!
I love that. I love the name. Two great names again. Fantastic. Let's listen in, everyone.
3, 2, 1.
And that's the kind of excitement that I hope we bring to all young teenage girls who are watching this and looking to be inspired. So Mooncup, they're going to need some inspiration themselves right now. They're going to be receiving the disc. They did start the game on offense. That was a timeout because I'm pretty sure Shout really want to hammer this in and take the lead 8-4. Go into half that way, get the disc back, stretch it out to 9-4. As I was saying, when the beautiful graphic was thrown up, Shout The ladies in white are the #1 ranked team according to EUCF right now. That means if you win them, you get a hefty points total. If you come close, that's good for you. Coming into this match, Mooncup are ranked 7th, so still enough to qualify. And a loss to the leaders isn't going to damage you too much, but you've got to score every point. Each one matters. Honestly, I'm really coming around to this ranking system. I think it's very good. First year, you're going to have to iron out some problems, but really makes a lot of these games worth it. As you can see, Harris gets that beautiful leading pass, and Mooncup with some fantastic spraying. No praying required. This is not a matter of faith. This is a matter of fact. Hasp gets it back to Belpel. Belpel back into the middle, taken by Borneau. Borneau doesn't want that reset. That was actually really good defense, but then launches. Oh, that is an unfortunate bounce off the hands of Hasp. You'd expect her to have it. What a throw by Borneau. There you go. The gods paying back. One good trot deserves another. Probably came from the defensive pressure from Borneau as well. Jeshi not known for errant throws. Casarini not known for slippy fingers. And across the Rollet. Rollet looks right back to Borneau. Borneau, Lagala gets high and takes it down comfortably. The elegance of the heiress. And they look to send it to her one more time. Defensive pressure peeled off at the wrong moment. Schluter just has to stand there and catch it. I love that hustle. Cristoffolini tried to read it, tried to come in. It sails over Julia's head into the waiting hand of Fiona Schluter. Fantastic stuff. Let's have another look. So you see Lagala go. Understandably, you want to send it to the heiress. It's going a bit too high, great effort. You can see Cristoffolini realizes in the air she's not getting it. And the disappointment evident in her shoulders as she comes back down to earth. Great hustle, really unfortunate turn of events. So BFD Shout, definitely gunning for bronze. Gonna be quite happy with how they played so far at this tournament. But still plenty to do. It's a long season. The real question we have to ask ourselves now is what can Mooncup do to get their first break in this game? And something that's fantastic about the Elite Invite is it gives you these opportunities to test your defensive shapes, your defensive looks. I think every team should have multiple. And most coaches agree with me on that front. Try them out. As you can see, Mooncup coming out with a zone. Hoping to limit their opponents with it. Nice pass around. We saw them worked a similar zone against Iceni on stream. Well, I did. They've been on stream since, I believe. And this is nice. It's limiting the flow. The problem is once they get past it, that's Lolly with the disc. BFD just kind of happy. There's no pressure on those swings whatsoever until there's a sideline. Nice jump through block. Incredible stuff. I'm going to go ahead and assume that was Leduc. Yes, watch them here. Recognize the cut across from Gatti. Big fan of Gatti, but Leduc able to step forward and use those extendo arms of theirs to knock it away. So Mooncup get the D. The zone worked. Swing out to Neve. Neve throwing out. They are losing a lot of yards on these dump passes. BFD, the O-line coming out with a zone. I mean, fantastic step through block. That's why they do it. You're never aware. Gatti wanted to get that one back. She did. There's the quick pop through, and BFD handle their business effectively. Arin Scazieri picking up the final pass, but a lot of that credit has to go to Gatti. Let's see Gatti. So you see here, BFD, Gatti just recognizes she wants that pop. If I step through, they're not ready for it. And then immediately, that's a truly sensational grab. Strusha. Oh, sorry, not Strusha. Bonfante. Bonfante able to get that one from behind her, feed it forward to Scazieri. Huge shout out to Gatti. But that was a turn by Mooncup. So they've taken the first step. Can they continue their journey? We'll find out in the second half. Keep it right here. Same catch channel, same catch time. As it's Mooncup 5, Shout 8. Welcome back, everybody. BFD Shout starting off the half on offense and just chasing that one down. Really nicely done. Lots of pressure on the other side, though. So maybe forcing that a little bit. Brilliant work by Borno to get position. Le Duc now with it. And spreading it across. So Mooncup coming out the start of the second half with a turn and an opportunity to pick up their first break. Big swing to the opposite side. Back into the middle. Across. Excellent work. That's how you attack a wing. This is much improved by the D-line offense. Gala's right in front. Feeds her. Le Duc wants it at the front corner. The Gala keeps going. It's a sketchy pass over the top, but they all count when they're completed. Maïwen Le Duc gets their assist. Le Gala gets yet another point. And Mooncup get their first break. As we look there, that seemed like the perfect setup for a deep shot, but in that 18-on-18 battle, Borno is just ready for it. I'm assuming the coach has something to say to Le Duc about that, but it still worked. And you can see, I love that little hand tap between Scazieri and Borno. That's a battle everyone can enjoy. So Le Gala, like I said, picked up 4 assists, 2 goals the last time these two teams met. And so far in this game, picking up her first goal there. Julia Harris, Schluter, both really standing out for Mooncup right now. And Mathilde Maskelani, 2 assists, 1 goal for BFD. So 8-6, big time break for the Belgians. So how will the Italians respond? Lovely shot down the line. Plenty of space. They're doing a great job of creating these big gaps and then hitting them. Nice throw down the line. Under an awful lot of pressure right now. Castellini's eventually able to get it back into the middle. Muller. Brilliant swing to the opposite sideline. Pancotti has Muller. Hits her. And Avra Muller gets the assist, throwing it right in to Eileen Scazieri. And I think that spike had something to do with Borno beating her in the air on the previous point. But what a leader for this BFD team. Eileen Scazieri always getting it done. 26 with 14 years of experience playing. Some of these Shout players, I mean, that Bologna culture, a real academy of ultimate excellence, especially on the women's side. And the quick pop in, the Aussie-Italian connection. So Shout respond with a comfortable hold, shall we say, and send out the D-line again. Camera seems to be focusing on Lasma Kublika, one of the preeminent ultimate players in the women's division. A force from Latvia. Picked up gold with BFD last season. Disc in hand there, that's Sinead Dunn. So another foreign import to the Italians, coming out of Ireland. Picked up bronze with the Irish mixed team last year. Actually lost to the Italian mixed team in what was a nail-biting semi-final, which you can find along with a lot of other games, great games from EUC, on the OT.TV YouTube page for free. Sinead Dunn, for my money, was the best defender at that tournament in the mixed division, one of the best defenders in Europe. So, you know, you've got Kublika and Dunn. Those are two great additions to an already stacked Italian defensive outfit, and one to whom zone is like second nature. They move as a unit, and almost coming through. That was a little bit lucky, perhaps a little bit skill. I don't want to undersell the great grab by the Hasp. And going for the scooper over the top, having no other option. Mooncup give up so many yards, and then with that throw, you can't get the completion swing across. You're forced to take on another difficult break, which means now the next part of the swing is another difficult break. Every throw, you're losing yards, and you're just adding pressure. There should be one hard throw followed by two easy throws in a swing against the zone. You need one break and then two continuations afterwards, and that's down to timing and positioning. There's the break. Now, in fairness, Sarah Labaglia is doing a phenomenal job of limiting the continuation throws, and there she comes in to stop any more movement down the sideline. That's a brilliant inside break. I mean, there's only so much you can do against that kind of excellence. Legala launches, shoots, and just outside of the outstretched cuticles, Lefebvre left extending at ether. I thought that was incredible. So here, with this swing to Harris, you want to hit that shot. Now, Kublika is doing a fantastic job. And alongside her, just as the tail end of that, Ugolini is the tail end of that zone, making those throws difficult. Then Legala recognizes the space, knows Lefebvre is one of the best receivers on this team, just ever so slightly overshooting her. I think she mistimed her own feet. I feel like that was well within her sphere of influence, shall we say. Done. Screeching inside snap flick. There's a remarkably open Giovannini. Swings it back into the middle, and these flicks are very impressive. Kublika goes for the Harley's backhand break to the open side. Interesting decision. Rabaglia, I love that. Makes the steal by Rollet. A little bit of a foul to stop the first backhand, which I kind of respect. And then because you had to clutch it and then go for the second throw, Relay's able to come up, and I definitely respect the backfield throw through a huge bid, but getting nothing. As they keep coming, Harris with some strong hands, looking to lead Legala. Done in the area, but Legala just takes the sky above her head. I mean, rent-free in the penthouse apartment. That's what I'm talking about. How good Legala is. One of the best receivers. I think there's very few women in this division who could have got that disc overdone. I do think one of the people anyway would be Leduc. As you see here, oh, that's not a foul. Maybe it's debatable. That is phenomenal play by Latour. Literally creates that D. That's like the assist interception, right? You poke the ball away, the other person's able to secure it. So much credit. And there, what an insane bid. Somehow Harris held on to it. Kublik is trying to cover that breakside space. Can't quite get there. Dunn tries to make up for it, but Legala with the feet. And you got to give it up. That was... Well, maybe that's not a BFD jersey calling her in, but really impressive play. So Mooncup able to recover. They've gotten one break so far this half. And my ability to perform maths aside, I do know every point counts. Coming into this match, Shout ranked first, Mooncup ranked 7th. You gotta believe Jinx will probably take that top spot, depending on how they do against Yaka in the final. Final that's happening right now, I think, on our main stream. Start a little bit later, so once you're finished here, why don't you hop over there? Might be my ignorance, but it seems like BFD really mixing up these lines. I suppose this is the time of the season to do it, right? Try some different things out. Dunn, definitely more known for her defense when playing for the Irish national team, but I suppose at the club level, it's taking up about every role. That was not an easy pass. Really nicely done. Able to get it across, and BFD are just going right back, but then another in stellar. By stellar, I mean she's up there with the stars. Interception by Borneau. Coughlin feeds Borneau. Borneau sits into it and launches. There it is. The blade. Dunn has no option but to watch that sail past her. Mooncup chases it down. The Dutch woman goes to the backhand break. Great insistence on the defense by Bisceglia. Stops that break coming off. Borneau now. I mean, she's got just about every throw you can have. And legs to match. Gives it to Mooncup and then just hops right in front. What about that for a crafty cut by the French woman? And that's another break. We're going to have another look at this. Well, first off, this was apparently we just like looking at Legala. I mean, why wouldn't you look at the feet as well? Everything about that. Perfect by Legala. Then we have a look at the interception by Borneau. And she's feeding those. Bisceglia, no slouch, but Borneau is making her seam open. Now watch this. Borneau looks like she's going to cut behind. Look at that for a move. Absolutely roasting. Is that Cheshi in the front corner? You can see Cheshi turn her shoulder. As soon as she turns her shoulder, try and cover the back corner, expecting Borneau to go there. Borneau plants, steps directly in front. Textbook offense. You have to get your opponent to commit. Something we saw a lot of in the dump cutting yesterday, especially I thought at times when Gentle were trying to dump cut against Clapham, was they were not committing. They were not forcing decisions on the part of the defender and then responding to those decisions, because that's the power of the offense. You make every first move, so you can force defensive decisions. And good defenders know you basically guess, and then if you guess wrong, you try to cover for it with your athleticism. If you guess right, you generally get a turnover. So you've got to force decisions, and then once the defense makes a decision, prove it wrong with what you do next. That's exactly what Borneau did there. And now Mooncup are 1 point behind Shout, having a much more enjoyable second half. Bonfante with the disc. Uncontested foul, so she's got a fresh 10. I don't think players downfield realized it was back in. There's the violation call. I gotta tell you, I disagree with that. Pay more attention. If your offensive player doesn't think your team is ready, you hide the disc. Right? That's what I was told. You put the disc behind your back so they can't tap it in. Once it's tapped in, game started. That skull should have been higher. BFD coming right back at you. I mean, that's what they do. Raleigh gets the pass across the Gathi. Gathi sends it back in. Oh, it's broken up. Lisson on a chair. I think that was Lisson. Huge layout block. Anyway, Harris has the disc. Mooncup with a chance to tie it up. Doesn't like the throw to Diop. I wouldn't either if Strusha was on her shoulder, was on my shoulder like that. So leave it off. Break all the way across. Although there is a violation call that would explain how Rahali got so free. Haven't heard much from Sarah Rahali in this game. Great force on that D line. So Bonfante calling pick. Eva Maxon. Marked by Letizia Gatti. Somebody's got to get free. She's... And a nice pass straight down the line. Or no. Doesn't hit the back corner. Rahali instead, in the middle. And that's a nice swing. Maxim with the deflect. Goes to Harris instead. Maxim with the distraction even. That's Harris. She wants to pass from Rahali. Rahali was calling for the leading one. That stall's getting higher every single second. Some relief comes in the form of Eva Maxon. Right back to Harris. Maxon goes back, so it's just a little bit of Maxon and Harris right now. Maxon with the disc. Doesn't want Leduc. Goes to the flick to who else but Harris. And then Harris to deal. She likes that throw, and that ties it all up. Excellent work by Maxon and Harris. Just recycling until the cuts were timed a little bit better downfield. A lot of hard work by Diop Leduc in that position. And then when the timing was right, they struck. That was excellent veteran movement. Big look at Julia Harris. Learned how to play in the University of Virginia. Has played with both. Has actually played with Shout before, so understands it a little bit closer. Also played Belgium under 24 with him. She won EUCF with Shout in 2022. Julia Harris. So maybe revealing a couple of the secrets. Very understandably, Shout take a time out because right now things are getting awfully close. They're getting awfully tense. We have another look here. Bordeaux says no. And then just the recycling. Maxon and Harris were tireless, and then eventually lovely little finish. So that ties it all up. What's going to happen when we come back out of this timeout? Let's find out. It's currently Shout 9, Mooncup 9. Role. Big poke. And centered into the middle of the waiting arms of Arva Muller. Muller able to get that one across to Scazieri. Scazieri, there's a lot of flow. Comes through. Just wanting there on this team. Plays exactly like that. Bengi, feared across the continent. Leduc, too young to know better. Taking her on. Oh, grab. You wouldn't expect Rollet to put her teammates in that kind of a difficult position. You would expect Scazieri to put that much pressure on an undercut. Lots of bodies. That was always going to be Bengi's. Leading pass. Things are getting very seat of your pants right now. Oh, and is that up? Yep, that's up. Everybody agrees. Lolly somehow able to rescue that. That's Bengi. Bengi's actually just clearing through as Scazieri comes back. I don't know what Lolly's waiting for right now. Goes Maxon to put on a force. Gets down to Muller, pushes it looking for Bengi, but Bengi must know something we don't. I would have thought Bengi could get that, but look, it's hard to tell dimensions at this distance. As we have another look here, this is Scazieri. The leading pass, and Leduc gets up, gets monstrous. Fantastic stuff. 16! My one, Leduc is 16. Taking on Bengi in there. That's a great rescue. A little bit dicey. And this was the throw. This is Lolly. Somehow, that looks up to me. You can tell the shadow never kisses the plastic. It's up. You know, there are some angles we get where that's a lot easier to tell. Really great work from Lolly. But Mooncup get the disc back. This is a chance to take the lead. Their second chance. Big arcing pass all the way over the top. Will make me very nervous, but, you know, that's why I'm not on this team. Big launch. Lots of bodies coming in. Oh, the only thing that got fouled there, Roulet, was your pride. All right. Ava Muller taking that one down. All right. Yeah, look. This is where... Lorcan, that's a bit harsh. Let's have another look here. You can see Leduc coming in. That does kind of look like a strip. That looks like Mueller and Leduc caught it at the same time. If I'm honest. Mueller and Leduc having a conversation. I think it's only fair that I try to offend everybody equally with my attempts at these accents. So that's arced high. Looking for Rollet. Now look. That's about the same time as it gets. That's Mueller. Or, what am I saying? It's not Mueller's. That's Leduc's. I gotta tell you, if they're coming to us, which they're not, I don't think that's a physical foul, because a lot of people were underneath it, and Mueller did everything in her power to not make contact. Roulet really jumped into her. But I do think Leduc caught that at the exact same time. Leduc's on offense. That disc should go to Mooncup. I think it's probably going to go back, because neither side is going to... Are they going to check it out? Put in the headphones. It looks like they're going to Felix to check out. Listen to me. And... Oh, agreed. No, I do not want to take anything away from that absolutely insane play by Ava Mueller. The duck getting the better. Ava Mueller actually took bronze at Worlds in 2022 with Lunchbox, and one of the best runs I'd ever seen. And there's Roulet looking for the duck. Bengi's trying to make up the distance. Yeah, that was Bengi trying to make up the distance, but, you know, if it doesn't stay in bounds... I want to see the duck and Bengi, like, battling it out. Float your discs. Float your discs in bounds, please. Müller. I keep pronouncing it like she's German. Müller. Sorry, alright. There we go. Ava Mueller with the disc in hand. She's looking, sends it into the middle. And that is comfortably taken by Baiocchi. Baiocchi to Scazieri. Scazieri, nobody cuts deep. Going under instead. Bonfante, now they're cutting deep, shooting, searching, and finding Baiocchi for the crucial goal. This feels like a game-defining point. It went on for a while, and Shout come back with the goods with what was technically an offensive hold, but 2 turnovers apiece. The Italians out on top. Fantastic shot as well to Nicole Baiocchi. So you see the undercut in the form of Bonfante. Steps in, unleashes. Fantastic cut from Baiocchi from the handler space, so all the defenders can do is watch her burn away. Originally from Zola Predosa, current city is Bologna, where she is studying. Has previous club experience with Alligators, and of course played mixed in Ireland. So was on that team that dispatched Sinead Dunn. I gotta wonder, does that come up? You know, because I would bring it up if I was Baiocchi, but then I'm kind of can't say anything. I'm not sure what Solid Sports' position on me swearing is. I would bring it up, is all I would say. Italy unexpectedly dumping Ireland out in the semi-finals in a brilliant Universe Point game that is available on ulti.tv's YouTube. But what's available right now through Solid Sport is this tantalizing bronze medal matchup in the women's division. This has been the most entertaining game I've called all weekend. And not what you'd expect over a Sunday morning, but it shows how crucial these points are. There's the pop back to Harris, this BFD zone. But the 4-person cup, I don't know what happened there. Maybe misfortune begets misfortune for Mooncup. Yeah, I don't think Harris knew what happened there, trying to get back to Rollet. That's the kind of thing they've been pulling off with a lot of ease. What an inside break! Wasn't intended for Kublika, but someone deserved to catch it. That was an incredible throw. Giovannini. It's just down the line to Casarini. Casarini. Another insane inside flick break, or backhand break. Oh, that is some fantastic defense by Belper to stop the dump coming off. Eventually they're able to get to Capello. Capello sends it across. Capello back. And Casarini. Has Mescalini. Eventually able to find her. And there's the quick pop in, nicely done. That was Mescalini to Rabaglia. Rabaglia to Capello for the final score. But gotta say, Mooncup really made those handlers work to try and get free like that. And get the break throw. Like, just look at the amount of work Matilda Mescalani has to put in here just to get a little bit free, but there's the back, Rebaglia. Get that off. So they bend and they stretch you and they pull you and they push you and eventually you snap. And that's when they get the break throw off for the score. So Shout, after a really great run by Mooncup to start the second half and pull themselves back into this game, they scored 3 in a row to tie it up. So it was 8-6. 8-6 at half. No, it was 8-5 at half, sorry. And Mooncup came out, got a break. Shout held. Mooncup then got a hold and 2 breaks, tied up at 9s. Shout then held again and just got a break. So Shout starting to stretch that out again. It's really been back and forth. Angelica Sarti with the disc in hand, getting ready for the pull. 23 years old, works as an embroidery designer and production developer. Loves close defense and long shots. And was on the Italian under 2014 last year. Well, let's see what kind of pressure she can be a part of as BFD look to ratchet it up. Nice throw around to Legala. Legala just keeps moving. Oh, and that's a searing inside flick. Really impressive stuff. Able to find DeHaas. DeHaas gets it back to Bourneau. Bourneau swings around to Harris. Harris to Roulet. Roulet now on the far sideline. Back to Harris. Has Bourneau. Although that is some nice defensive work in the cup. Stop the pass going through. Instead, they go to DeHaas. DeHaas to Bourneau now. Has Schluter on the far sideline. So if you hit Schluter now, you need to time this cut. DeHaas. And there's a lovely little run by Bourneau, but a difficult throw to make it. Goes to Schluter instead. Schluter. It was a completion. Harris across. Roulet now center of the pitch. But they're losing yards all the time. You need overload the handler space. If they have 4 defenders around your handler, throw 2 more handlers back there to help around. You can see Schluter on this far sideline. That's a tough throw. But now, see if you could hit Harris and then Legala just makes a cut up the line, you're gaining yards. Or go through the middle of it because you're a much better thrower than I am. Great work by Roulet. And now it goes back. Looking to get it to Bourneau. Able to in the end. Bourneau hops along. Now it's with Harris. Back in. So Harris doing a little bit of 1-2 stepping. Legala comes all the way back under. Has to hasp to her right. Caesar. But you can see from the patrolling eyes of Pancotti, they're always aware of that swing down the line and trying to shut that option up just like that. Brilliant block by Pancotti. And there's the big shot, arcing over the top. 3 Belgians. None of them touch it, but the ground gets there in the end. Legala picks up in a bit of a power position, decides against launching it. Understandably, DeHaas wants to throw it back in the middle, but really good job shutting down the angles. And that's a great throw by Roulet to get it off in time. But there's no continuation. Nice pop through. Bourneau thinks about the blade over the top. There are spaces behind this zone as Mooncup continue to tirelessly try and work their way around it. And it's as difficult as a throw gets. I would 100% call foul on that. So spilling the hasp. Foul. I'm not sure who's saying the foul is. Oh, it's coming in on 6, so the foul must have been DeHaas attacking too sharply into the body of Pancotti. That's Gaia Pancotti, by the way. It was Georgia Pancotti who got the earlier block. What an incredible grab. They're inbounds. How Schluter stayed in bounds, I don't know. I mean, she was immediately called in by Pancotti. And Georgia not going to look at that throw. That's inbounds. That's inbounds. A little bit of discussion. Castellini saying you drag the line, but here's the thing: when it's one of those lines, drag it counts. Her foot was on the inbound side of that line, okay? And if you didn't want that to count, then they should have painted them. So that's my personal feeling about these rollout lines. Well, look, it was good enough to, I think everybody can feel fair that the disco's back. It's going to be coming back in on a stall 6, though, right? Oh, no, I think they're going to give it back to Schluter. Maybe Castellini getting overruled by her teammates. You did see Giorgia Pancotti immediately pull her in as well. Somebody on the sideline who I couldn't find out who that was. I think it might have been Scazzieri, actually. Legala looking back, and that's an entirely backwards force, which I gotta tell you, I love. Oh, brilliant work on the zone. They're just abandoning her. That's a second Pancotti block. If you have another look here, Lisson, she has the gap, tries to fake it, but Pancotti is just reading her mind every time. It's incredible. Also, huge effort from Bayaki, being the anchor of that force, taking out the backfield options, stopping Borno from throwing it left on your screen right now. I love that. I love when you've got a cup and the mark comes up and takes away the backfield, just focusing on the dump. Throw it downfield. That's where the other 6 defenders are. Just don't throw it back here. Really, really great effort from Nicole Bayaki. Not entirely sure what Harris is discussing. I think it's unfair that your cup is so effective at shutting down our options while we try to throw through it. I think a bit more lying with your eyes might benefit the Mooncup handlers. I'm going to assume, sorry, we're trying to turn up the pitch mic, and we're picking up every conversation in between us and Harris and Baroni. It sounds to me like it's a double team call. Harris's assertion that Pancotti was too close to the handler when she went for that block. Still a turnover though, so maybe just discussing some things. Who knows? Big shout out to our camera crew down on the pitch side, and by crew I mean Felix, who's currently manning this on his own, doing his best to get us that pitch side audio. So the turnover carries, and Shout looking to carry this game. Huge layout grab, incredible stuff, Charlotte Schall. Such an impressive player for Germany. Real rising star. She gets it back. One of those people who you'd be counting alongside the Scazzieris, the Gurners, the Eklunds. She's still got so much of her career ahead of her. I think it's fair to throw in the Melvins as well. I don't want to be too homerish, but like, yeah, Sarah Melvin, one of the best women to ever get it done in Irish or European Ultimate. Nice swing back in, and that's the inside break. It's practically a straight line, but Gemetsova pops it back to Pancotti, Gaia Pancotti. It was Giorgia Pancotti getting all those breaks. It was Bayaki working so hard, and back to Gaia Pancotti. I meant D's, but Bayaki to Pancotti for the goal. Another break. Shout respond to Mooncup's 3-point run with a 3-point run of their own. And that's what champions do. You scare them at your own peril. Giorgia Pancotti has listed herself as an offensive handler. Did you ever see an offensive handler do stuff like this? 17 years old as well. The talent we're seeing. There's that huge layout from Charlotte Shell. Not that old herself. There's a nice little play. That's Gaia Pancotti to Bayaki, and Bayaki immediately feeding her back. And all that Fiona Schluter, who is a very good player herself, can do is watch. Let's see how Mooncup respond coming out of this timeout, because they're going to need to change some things up. We know they can go on runs. Do they have another one in them? They'll need it, as right now it's Mooncup 9, Shout 12.
Get there. Yes, he will.
The lovely day.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my, somehow they do it!
In case you're ever wondering, is it weird for me to hear my own voice in that ad as we're coming back in? Yes, but it'd probably be weirder if I wasn't a narcissist, so, you know, I deal with it. And let's see how Mooncup deal with this Shout offense. Brilliant fight back. And like I was saying this yesterday when I was covering the Mooncup against Iceni game. Or was that Friday? Point is, I covered the Mooncup versus Iceni game, right? And I was saying this then. I'm grading Mooncup on the gold standard. I'm grading Mooncup on the level that I grade Mooncatchers. Are you good enough to win the European title? Right now, they're definitely getting closer to that standard, right? And it's not like either team here has their full roster. I mean, there's a few more players on Bologna. Mooncup have a couple more extras they can call upon. So this isn't either team's final form. But, I mean, in any of those situations, you know it's going to be Harris, you know it's going to be Schluter. You know it's going to be Roulet leading the charge. And there, Dunn getting in front of Nagala, getting one back for that roof earlier on. And that's exactly why I rate her so highly. That's a battle between one of the best defenders, one of the best offensive players, and it's just misfortune on misfortune right now. Nice continuation swing from Giovannini. Getting it to the opposite side, and there's a great throw back inside by Chet. Baroni pops it back to Casarini. Casarini goes through the center and it bounces off the hand of Dunn. I'm not entirely sure what Capello was doing there to Legala. But they both seem fine with it, and that means it's okay by our rules. Legala gets the disc back. There's that BFD zone again, Roulet. Just forced to go for the big, high-arcing one, and Dunn's going to try and close that gap. It was actually really nicely thrown. Couldn't do anything but watch it. But again, then they just get trapped. They move the cup with these really difficult throws, and then they just get trapped again. Nice little pick of back and forth. Great heads-up awareness by Anna Cheshi, working with Gaia Pancotti. I mean, you want to talk about excellence in European Women's Ultimate. You're going to try and have that conversation without Anna Cheshi? Get out of here. But again, I think this is symptomatic of Mooncup's inability to do the easier part of getting through this BFD zone. Huge block by Dunn. Really nice. Done and done. So that's the hard throw. And Cheshi just responding immediately. Pancotti working with her. Easy assist for Pancotti. They're really fired up. So the hard part of getting past that cup is the initial break. And I personally, against that kind of a zone, would always play 4 handlers back, right? And you break, the first break you're going to lose yards on. The next break is probably, or the next throw, which will technically be a break throw, before the cup arrives, it needs to be immediate, is probably going to be lateral. But then you're on the opposite sideline to the cup, and you should get there if it's The first break throw, then the cup has to turn around. By the time they're done turning around, the other person should be throwing to the far sideline, the middle handler. And once you catch on the far sideline, as the cup swings across, you've got to time a cutter to come down that sideline and hit him. Then the cup lands, they trap that cutter again, and you repeat going the opposite direction. And that's how you keep gaining yards. Eventually, you might get there before the cup's able to arrive and put that clamp on you, and you can throw further downfield back into the middle. That's how I personally prefer to beat this zone. And I would say that because Mooncup clearly have the throwers to get those breaks off. They just don't have the timing of their movement afterwards to do the easy part. The other option is uprushing handlers coming from behind. We'll talk about that another time. Roulette. Pops it back. Nice high release backhand over the top. With the hasp. Back to Roulette in the middle. Big swing all the way over. Borno, that's the hasp. So you can see Borno's going for the uprushing handler cup, but doing it from outside the cup rather than through the cup, which makes it much more difficult throw. Roulette. So there's the swing. Now where's the timed cut? Nicely done. And again, another timed cut. There's the Gala. Okay, in fairness, you gotta give a lot of credit. That was great by Sarti to shut down that option. But that's what I'm talking about. So there's the pop. Now, the swing's got to be there. That's lateral. Now gain yards on the sideline. I think, BFD have switched back into a little bit more of a match defense. Oh, it's very standoffish right now. And then the cup collapses. It's almost FSU, and then it collapses into a cup on the sideline. I really like that. Really like that break as well. That was fantastic by Borno. Or to Borno, even. Big throw all the way around. So right now they're really searching. That was inbounds, that's fine. I thought DeHaas might have just thrown it out a little bit. You can see they've been pushed all the way back to their end zone. Borno with another backhand, and that one just about kept in. Yeah, everybody calls it in. You got BFD very quick with these in-out calls. I really like it. Oh, and there's the interception, and there's the immediate goal. I mean, it's kind of falling apart. Laffy, fantastic work, jumps through, gets the pass to Mescalini. Mescalini's actually quietly had a really impressive game. You want to talk about championship mentality? I think there was a slight error in some of our score reporting. They put down Nicole Bayaki to Gaia Pankoti twice in a row. That last one, I think, was Gaia Pankoti to Cheshi, right? Anyway, irrelevant. That throw there. Oh, the reason I wanted to draw attention to that, because the scorer there, Mathilde Mascilani, has had a very impressive game, really well-rounded. So right now, 2 goals, 2 assists. Yes, Eleonora Laffy to Mathilde Mascilani, and it puts BFD within 1 point. Remember, Mooncup went on a 3-point run to tie this game up, and it just awoke that championship level in Shout. I think they felt like, we let Jinx get the better of us in the semi-final. We're not making that mistake again. We are at least coming home with a bronze from this situation. And you got to respect that ability to bounce back. Kimitsova. Going to be putting up the pull. Home city of Košice. Currently based out of Vienna. Love some sky bottles and some big old hooks. Picked up gold medal with them last year. Played a lot of mixed with Vunja team and leftovers. But right now playing in the women's division with Shout for the last 2 years. And there's Legala looking to lead. Floats it a bit too much. Fantastic run through D. Bisceglia had other ideas. DeHasp is saying Bisceglia got a little bit too handsy. Oh yeah, you can see there's the hand on the lower back. So if DeHasp thinks Bisceglia pushed her out of position with that hand on the lower back, that's an understandable foul, uncontested by Bisceglia. Yeah, that's probably what happened. You can see, she was just trying to slow down. It wasn't malicious or anything. It's just something that happens to DeHasp. In a lot of trouble, eventually able to get it off. There's a quick pop around to Legala, nicely done. So Mooncup, every point counts, remember. We have gone over time, so it's currently 86 minutes. I gotta tell you, I didn't even notice. This has been a really, really fun game. So I think that's Harris. Picking up another assist. 14-10 is the score. They're going to take a timeout, understandably so. Mooncup need to get every break they can. Will they be able to? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to join us after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to what could be the last point of this game, or the first point of an incredibly impressive comeback. This is why we watch, right? Very exciting stuff happening all around us. We've got more exciting stuff to come later today as well. 2 more bronze medal matches on this pitch. Battle of the English Titans, Clapton taking on Chevron Action Flash. And of course the mixed bronze happening later as well. But that's all in the future. Right now, it's all about what's directly in front of us in Mooncup. Every point counts. Was that our cameraman Lolo going up to catch butterflies? Well, whatever he's doing with that net, I'm sure it's above board. That was almost lackadaisical on the cut by Bengi, but just staying strong and able to dismiss Leduc. I think Leduc could have gone for a layout there, because Bengi was not running as fast as we know she can. Mueller. Oh, that's a tough flick break, but pulls it off. Scazieri dumps it back. Thinking about the dump, but instead just swinging it across. That's Gatti. Gatti wants Mueller, able to get it to her, and get it right back off her. Says no to the follow-up throw. Gatti surveys the end zone, waiting for options. And there's the shot! And it's the win! Scazieri. Borno could not respond in time. Scazieri steals that one from the outstretched fingers, and oh, that was a little bit feisty by Rahali. So, we're going to ignore that and let them work it out. Big win for Shout, 15-10. Unfortunate. I thought Borno, I think it was Borno anyway, it was all moving very fast. I thought Borno had that, was ready to turn around and get the big time block. But in the end, Scazieri just quick response, extendo arms and steals it away. So thank you very much for joining us for this game. The bronze medal match goes to Shout and Mooncup. You can look up, as we have another look here. Oh, so tough for Lisson Borno. What a fun matchup. I don't want to talk talk about that. Make up your own minds. Okay, what you can't make up your own minds about, because we're going to have to watch it. And if you like your ultimate spicy, then keep it right here, because we've got one of the spicier matchups that happens on the continent. And that is Chevron Action Flash, the loose collection of Northerners and anti-Londoners taking on Clapham Commons right here. So where else are you going to be? We will see you next catch time. Same catch channel of Babel TTV, EUF, Lorcan, Murray, Solid Sport, and the wonderful people of Leuven. We'll see you in about 5.
Don't be afraid, I make you feel